Okay, I'm doing a quick video of the interior of my vehicle. This is my '88 Cadillac, used to belong to my grandfather. These are some of the customization and or personal touches that I did on my vehicle that I like. First thing you probably notice is the steering wheel. This is a walnut and billet aluminum steering wheel I got off of eBay. It did come with the installation adapter kit, so all this billet piece here, through here, the lever for the telescopic, if I get a good view here. So this is where the lever for the telescopic steering column is, and I actually built this piece here because the factory one had broken and the kit did not come with a replacement or a solution. So this is just a piece of 1/8 inch thick 6061 aluminum. I traced out the pattern of the factory lock switch and then cut it out and then polished it and put it on there. So this locks the steering wheel in place for the telescopic function. Horn and everything works. Next thing you probably notice is I did put a billet shifter in. I ordered this off of Amazon. I did have to trace and cut the bottom piece there with a Dremel tool. Took maybe 5-10 minutes. Basically undo this little pin, get your factory one out, and you'll see how it's shaped, and you just trace it out on this piece of billet that goes inside here and copy it. Pretty easy to do with basic tools, but Dremel is all I used. And I like how this looks too. I grew up in the early 2000s, late 90s as a mini trucker, so I am still into everything billet, anything like that, chrome wheels, all that stuff. Next down here I have a dual needle gauge from AVS, and I bought a pod and used the factory. I had a set of had some factory paint mixed up, using the factory paint code into an aerosol can, and was able to color match the pod and mount the gauge in there. So this is for my air suspension. I do have airbags on here, just front and back. These are the switches. I wanted to keep everything kind of simple and factory. I still like the way the vehicle looks from the factory, but just wanted to put a couple personal touches on there. I mounted these two toggle switches. This is front up and down, and this is the rear up and down for the air suspension. Next is the radio. This is a Sony head unit I put in here. This is a 1 DIN. It's a single DIN, so it fits in the single DIN slot, but it's got a double DIN screen. It does hang down. It does block some of the AC controls, but there's only a few buttons on here, and I have mine memorized, so I just reach down there and press whatever button I want, and it doesn't really affect me at all. It doesn't bother me. I don't care what the temperature readout says on there, because I just change it till I'm comfortable, and like I said, I have the buttons and their locations memorized. I did add this is a USB 3 and HDMI input, because there's an HDMI input on this head unit, so I use that if I want to hook up my Raspberry Pi, which I can play games on, video games, stuff like that on there. Don't use it a whole lot, but it does give me an extra charging port if I wanted to use one, or I could just plug in a memory USB jump drive in there and play music through there, through the head unit. Next, you can see, oh, this is kind of cool. So normally there's nothing here. There's a blank spot. What I went ahead and did, because I got a 4-channel for the mid-range and highs amplifier in the trunk, and then I got a mono block for the subwoofers. I got two 10-inch kicker CVRs in the back. What I did was I took the knob off the factory radio that I took out of here, drilled a hole through here that matches the diameter for my bass knob, basically, and I mounted the bass knob behind here, and then used the factory knob to replace the bass knob for the kicker amp. So this looks like a factory knob. It matches the wood grain and everything, but it's for my bass knob. So this is for my bass control. Like I said, it's normally a blank spot right there. It just makes everything symmetrical with the mirror adjustment. So that was a nice little add-on. I like that. Like I said, I want to keep things kind of looking factory, but also have my own touch on things. Next is I put in this review camera. There is a camera on the front of this, and this records while I drive. So I have that on there. Now I can turn this on or off if I want to. Everything's wired in. So everything's tucked away. You don't see any wires hanging down across the windshield or anything like that. I've got 2 toggle switches down here by the kick panel. You can kind of see where that blue light's kind of glowing down there by my leg. One turns the camera on and off, and the other one operates the power antenna. So I did replace the factory antenna because mine was broken when I got the car. And what I did was I had wired that in to a switch because I didn't want the antenna up every time the radio's on, because super annoying having that up all the time. So this is pretty much the extent of what I did on the interior. I added a little cup holder console deal down there because that's not usually there, and I like to have a drink with me when I'm traveling. I also added a backup camera, but I'll have to show you guys that later on when I get out of the car, because that's in the rear tail light reverse. The backup camera is in the reverse tail light housing in the back. Makes sense when you see it, but put the car in reverse and it goes there. You got a backup camera, and you can take these parking lines on or off. So I know it kind of looks like they go to the moon, but that was the best I could find for the camera that I needed to fit. So yep, this is the interior.